So we are doing marginal costing of October-November 2024, paper 23. Okay. If you read the sum over here, H Limited is a service company. Before I'm reading the question, I want to see what do I actually need. So I need the break-even point in hours. I need the number of chargeable hours. I need the chargeable hours required to produce a profit. Okay. That means I need sales required to achieve desired profit. Does this mean sales required to achieve desired profit? Peak. Okay. Fine. So I will go over here. Company is operating two departments. So I have one department. I have one department that is the payroll services, and I have department number two that is accounting services. So I have two departments that is the payroll services and the accounting services. Okay. Companies' fixed overheads include salary of the employees. So companies' fixed overheads have salaries. Now, whenever you see information, we try to jot down all the information in a way that we understand. This is the rule. So every department has 5 employees. Okay. And they work 48 weeks each year and 40 hours per week. That means the total number of hours that they are going to work is 5 employees into 48 week into 40 hours. So that comes up to 9,600 hours. I was not asked to calculate this, but it just came to my mind when we were reading the question. Payroll service department. So I have two departments. What are the two departments? One department is the payroll service department. The other department is the accounting department. Payroll service department earns 18 per hour, while the accounting service department employees earn $21 per hour. Fixed overheads are 68,000. It is apportioned 35,000 to the payroll service department and 33,000 to the accounting service department. Each department incurs the variable overheads of how much? Each department incurs the variable overheads of 7 per hour. Company charges its clients 35 per hour for all the services supplied. Now, what are they asking to us? Total number of chargeable hours that is available. Chargeable hours, that means I have 5 employees, 48 weeks. Please write in full form. This is for, I have not read properly. Again, calculate for payroll service department only. Total number of chargeable hours. So every department has 5 employees, 48 weeks and 40 hours. So payroll will also have 5 employees and accountancy will also have 5 employees. So 48 weeks into 40 hours. So this is going to make it 9,600 hours, which is the chargeable hours for 31st December 25. Then I want break-even point in hours. If I would see this, this is equivalent to break-even point in units, right? Okay. So it would be Fixed cost divided by contribution per unit. Now I don't have the contribution per unit, right? I have the fixed costs for payroll 35,000. Contribution per unit, it would be sales minus variable cost. Yeah? Okay. Sales is 35 per hour for all the services supplied. Minus the variable cost, I have the variable overheads is how much? 7. Minus 7. So my contribution per hour would be how much? Would be 28. Now I would talk about my fixed costs. So we have one fixed overheads is 35,000. And over here they have told us that the company's fixed overheads include salaries. So over and above this, I have to add in salaries over here. Yes? And contribution per unit remains 28. Yeah? Let's talk about the fixed costs. Salaries. Every department chargeable hours are 9,600. We are calculating for payroll services only. So I would multiply with 18. So what I'm getting is 172, 800 plus the fixed overheads of before was 35,000. So my total fixed overheads becomes 207,800. So break even point in hours would be 207,800 divided by $28. So it is going to be 7422 hours. Hmm? The next question is number of chargeable hours to produce a profit of 45,000. I need the hours that will produce me a profit of 45,000. Okay, that means I have fixed cost plus desired profit divided by contribution per unit. Why do I do divide by contribution per unit? Because I need my answer in hours. So what is the fixed cost? 207,800. If I do this divided by 28, if I do this divided by 28, I'm going to break even. This was over here. If I do fixed cost divided by 28, I'm going to do break even. But I want to know the numbers of hours that is going to give me a desired profit of 45,000. So I add in 45,000. So it becomes 207,800 plus 45,000 divided by contribution per unit. So this becomes 9029 hours. If you had watched my video, which had all the formulas, and you do it up to the end, you would find sums which includes types of this questions where you have to find the number of hours or the number of units sold to earn a desired profit. So what is the formula for it? Okay, very well. Can I go ahead? Okay. What am I asked to find now? Rate, please. Can you tell me what is the capacity, current capacity? I remember some 9,600 hours. So current capacity was 9,600 hours. Yeah. But now they're going to work for how much? So they're going to work for 85% capacity. which comes up to how much? 8160. So now, instead of working for 9,600 hours, the service department is going to work for how many hours? 8160 hours. So, what do they want from us? They want us to prepare a budgeted marginal cost statement to show the payroll services department profit for the year. I hope you're with me. I'm keeping the MS open for you so that I do not waste a lot of time in calculation. 100% capacity was how much? 100% capacity was 9,600. Now, instead of working for 100%, they're going to work for 85% capacity, which is 9,600 into 85%. It is making it to 8160 hours. Based on this capacity, I need to prepare a marginal cost income statement. The marginal cost income statement follows the format of revenue minus variable cost is contribution minus the fixed cost is going to give me profit for the year. Are you with me? We had already calculated the fixed cost above when we were doing our break even point. Yeah, which was 207,800. Yes. So our fixed cost was 207,800. We had already calculated this. Marginal costing income statement, we already know that our client is charging 35 per hour. So revenue would be on the 85% capacity into 35. Variable cost per hour was 7. So we did our variable costs. You multiply it, sales minus variable cost will give you contribution minus the fixed cost is going to give you the profit for the year. This was all with regard to calculating the profits. Let's read ahead. The directors of H Limited are of the opinion that the performance of the payroll services department must be improved. You have to improve the performance of your payroll services department. First, they were working 100% capacity was how many hours? 9,600 hours. And they were working at how much capacity? They were working at 85% capacity, which was 8160 hours. Yes? Now the directors are thinking that the performance of your payroll services must be improved. So they have two opportunities for further development. You have to read the information carefully to see that you do not forget any part of the information or you miss out on any part of your information. I am looking to calculate the number of overtime hours, so you have to keep this in mind before you read the question so you can just scaffold the information that is needed. You are calculating the number of overtime hours required for payroll services department. If the directors are choosing option 1, that means you're going to read only your option 1. Company has been approached by a competitor wishing to dispose of all of its payroll work. That means one person is there, one competitor is there, and he does not want to have any payroll work in his office. So the extra work would require an additional 4180 chargeable hours in the department over and above the total number of chargeable hours available. What are they trying to tell us is this is 9,600 is the available chargeable hours for us. That means we can work for 9,600 hours without using any overtime. This is what we are actually working. We are working at how much capacity? 85% capacity. So, if I take this work of the competitor, there would be an extra need of how many hours? There would be an extra need of 4180 hours in addition to the chargeable hours. What does this mean? Our chargeable hours are 9,600. In addition, okay, in addition to this chargeable hours, that means in addition to this, I would need extra hours of 4180. That means the total number of hours that I would need is 13,780. You need to read the information properly. Extra work would require additional 4180 chargeable hours over and above the total number of chargeable hours. So I already had a total number of chargeable hours, that is 9,600. Now I need additional hours of 4180. So the total amount required by me is 13,780 hours. Okay. I hope you're with me. Okay, fine. In order to take over this work, if I want to take over this work of a department who wishes to shut down his payroll his payroll work, I will have to employ two new employees. So I will have to keep two new people at work, and would result in department capacity being over 100%. So if I keep two new people at work, so two new people would also work for 48 weeks and 40 hours. So they would work for how much? 2 into 48 into 40. So they would work for 3840 hours. And our old number of hours was 9,600. So if I'm employing two new people, the total now available to us would be, the old was 5 into 48 into 40. So if I'm employing two new people, the total available to us would be 7 into 48 into 40, which is resulting into 13,440 hours. It's resulting into this. I need this much hours. I need 13,780 hours. I will employ two new people. So I will have this much availability. So what is the overtime required? The overtime required would be a difference of these two. I've not read the ahead part. Let me also read the ahead part. Overtime is paid at a premium of 50%. Okay, that means if I am paying my employee 100, I'm going to pay them 150, 50%. So how much is my payroll department is being paid? 18. So for overtime, I'm going to pay them 150% of 18. So it is 18 into 150%. So for overtime, these employees are going to receive 27 for the 340 hours. In order to increase motivation and to retain the current and new staff, the directors feel that they would have to increase the fixed salaries to 21. That means from 18, they are going to make the salary to 21. The same rate earned by the accountancy service department staff. Okay, fine. I have read my option 1. Now my question is asking me, Calculate the number of overtime hours. Have I calculated it? I have calculated, right? 9,600 was available. I required additional 4180. So I totally require this much. If I'm employing new staff, I will have this much hours. So my overtime hours would be 340. I'll pause the video for you to do it. Now, what they want from us is they want us to prepare a budgeted marginal cost statement. When I talk about marginal cost statement, the first thing that should come to my mind is sales minus variable cost contribution minus fixed cost gives me profit for the year. Okay. So I want to calculate the budgeted marginal cost statement for the year ended 31st December 2025. I hope you're with me. Okay, fine. So my overtime hours are 340. I have increased their wage to 21 per hour. This is fixed for the normal time. And for the overtime, I'm going to give them 21 into 150% of it. So what I'm going to give them is 27 per hour. How much? Okay. I'll just check. 21 into 150%, it's 31.5. The sales is going to still remain 35. Variable costs is going to remain 7. Yeah. Variable cost, that means it's direct material, direct labor. But since it is a service company, it does not have any material cost. It will only have direct labor. I hope you're with me. Okay. So what it only has is it has the direct labor. That is the variable overheads. Salaries are a part of fixed overheads. Are you with me? Okay. But overtime will be fixed or variable. Okay, it will be variable. So my overtime would be 340 hours into how much? 31.50. Okay, I take this information, I'm going ahead to the marking scheme so that it becomes a bit easier for us. Let's read. I'll get the information from top also, the hours. I hope you're with me. Okay, fine. I need to make a marginal cost statement to show the payroll service department profit for the year. Okay, are you with me? Okay, fine. Let's see. Revenue is 35. For what hours? Total required hours. Huh? Yeah. So this is my revenue. Minus the variable cost, that would be 7. Variable cost includes this and the overtime, so this is contribution. Minus the fixed cost, that is salary, that is 21. But salaries would be excluding the overtime hours, so on the available hours. Yeah. And the other fixed cost was 35,000, this one. So I get the profit for the year as 57,890. Are you with me? Okay. Try to do this. I'll pause the video.